let's talk about where we think the market is heading, Wes. Where do you think the market is heading?
It's gonna keep going up. The price of games are going to keep going up. More people are being turned on to collecting or investing, but more people are becoming aware of the value of games, and it's just going to keep going up. And these games are just going to become, one, more expensive. Two, I think they're going to become more harder to find as time goes on.
I want to disagree with you, but I don't think that I can. I want to disagree with you because I don't want to believe that it's true. You know, so I'm going to separate the two. Okay. I think that the sealed games that these companies are invested in, like WADA and Heritage, their bubble is going to burst at some point. They're pumping it up way too fast, way too much, way overvaluing what they are, in my opinion. I do think the stuff that I do want, like complete in box copies, or in some cases like loose carts, those prices are going to continue to go up for the most part. And the reason I think that is because I'm a collector and this is what I want. So other collectors are going to want the same thing. We don't care about the sealed games. So other collectors are going to be looking for those. More collectors are going to keep entering the market because of things like YouTube, because people are going to get older and they want to, rebuy their youth. And the third thing is physical games are going to slowly die, which is going to make people want them. As we get into more and more of a digital age, physical things are going to become more valuable. And I'm not just talking about video games, I'm talking about whatever. Antiques are going to become more valuable because who cares? When a bunch of people are caring about having digital skins in the digital world, in the metaverse that Facebook is going to create for all of us, there'll be a whole group of people that are against that still want physical items. And those physical items are going to be like really hard to get because the world is so digital at that point. So the physical things that are no longer being made will become more valuable, in my opinion.
No, I agree. I agree. We talked about it earlier, the Godzilla for PlayStation 4. You said yourself, you saw it come in your store twice to get restocked. That was it. Release day, one restock. I bought it from Best Buy. I've never seen, after I bought my copy, I've never seen it again. And they didn't produce a whole lot. So I think those obscure games are going to become really hard to find because they're going to stop, as the rise of digital, they're going to stop making so many copies of physical copies because they don't want to spend the money, press them up, send them out on the shelves, and then they sit because they're losing money.
Here's what's going to happen. At least what I think is going to happen. Smaller game publications like limited run games, special reserve games, premium edition games, these companies who make like smaller runs of games are going to continue to grow and thrive. As bigger companies stop putting out physical releases on their own, they may turn to these smaller companies and say, hey, limited run. I know there's a bunch of crazy people like Matt and Wes that still want physical games. We're not producing those. We don't care. We want everyone to buy the digital one. But we know there's crazy people out here like the two of them. So go make 5,000 copies of our game and sell them through your website. So we buy them. That's probably what's going to happen.
And I'm sure we aren't the only ones.
Oh, we're not. There's a whole subsect of us that will fight against the digital future.
Yes, we will.
At least that's going to happen for a period of time. In my opinion, this is me speculating for you investors. And then the next thing that's going to happen, a console is going to come out. Probably not one console, probably multiple consoles at the same time. Maybe the next console. No media drive, no disk drive, no cartridge, no chip, no Vita, nothing. Then you don't have a choice.
Well, you figure right now, both Microsoft and Sony have released their new consoles. There is a version that's strictly digital.
Yep.
So
That's what I'm saying. It could be the next round.
that's
I
gonna be a
hope it's not.
sad day, man.
I think there's enough of us right now where they're going to, if a new console were to come out 4 years from now, I would say it's still going to have a disk drive. The one after that is the one I'm worried about.
Yeah.
But
Do you
even by
figure
then,
what 15 years from now?
Then your retro games are really going to be worth something.
True.
Because they're not going to make physical ones. Like, oh, you want to play Street Fighter? We can play it on the digital download over here. Meanwhile, I'll be pulling out a CRT that I found, on the street. Not anymore. CRTs are actually hard to find now, which is sad. Yeah, I don't know. That's just the way I see things. That's my opinion. It's going to be hard for us physical people.
It is. It is.
Let's kind of answer the question that we started from the beginning, which that customer had for you. Should he get into video game collecting?
You have to really think about why you are doing it. If you generally want to collect, then yes. If it could be just because you want to introduce your children to what you played when you were growing up.
That's a great reason to do it.
Or you just want to relive your childhood yourself. If you are passionate about it, yes. I think people should get into collecting video games, and it's a very fun hobby. Collecting comic books, video games, it is a very fun hobby if you are passionate about it. That's my opinion.
I mostly agree with what you said, but they need to understand it is not, first of all, it's never been cheap. And right now, it's the most expensive it's ever been, whether you're trying to get stuff retro or present day. You were going to pay a premium right now for not being there earlier on.
Oh, it's definitely an expensive hobby. It is an expensive hobby. Comic books wise, if trying to go back and buy old back issues from, if you really are serious about it, from the 50s, 60s, 70s, you're going to pay for one book. You're seriously going to pay some money. And retro games are the same. If you really want to collect, to build your personal collection, it's an expensive hobby.
Right. And there's a flip side of that. If you don't care, go find some emulators online. If you don't need to have a physical copy, if you just want to experience them, go find an emulator. Who cares? Nobody cares. Nintendo probably cares.
But yeah, that's true. But part of the fun is the hunt. Is looking for that one game that you don't have in your collection, and you come across it, and you're so happy.
But for me, it's even harder now. Like I'm gonna push back a little bit. You work in a retro store. You have a huge advantage over me because I have to go out and look for my stuff. I have no retro stores really in my area. If I did, I would be paying a premium. Mm-hmm. But I've gone. It's probably been about a year, but I was before, I would say a year ago, for about 2 or 3 years, I was going to like thrift stores consistently. Mm-hmm. I would find stuff sometimes. With the amount of gas and time that I was spending to actually find something, became like, this is not worth me doing anymore, because I'm spending, my time is valuable. And if I put a number to my time, this is a waste of my time. So I stopped doing it. I do go, I'll randomly all right, I'll go thrift storing today. But before, I was going like, I have a day off, I'm going to the thrift store. What time do they open? I'll be there. And I found a few things, but nothing like, I got a couple of complete in box NES games once. That was like the biggest fun. I think I found 3 complete in box NES games one time.
Okay.
I saw a Rockman from Japan for the Mega Drive. I seen 2 different copies, but they were selling them at a premium. I could have probably bought them and flipped them and made some money, because I don't have a Japanese Mega Drive. I don't even know if that system's unlocked. But I think they were selling for about $400 or something, or like $300, and they were selling them for $250 each. So
Yo, thrift stores. People used to go to thrift stores thinking they can get a good deal. They become smarter. The thrift
they
shop
just
owners,
check eBay and stuff.
yeah, and so it's like, yeah, you go there thinking you're going to get a good deal, and they're already on top of it. They know what they have is valuable, and they're going to, like you said, charge a premium.
Yeah, those boxed NES games I have, they were nothing special, but I think I paid like $5 to $10 for each one. So I mean, I picked those up right away. But those Rockman games, I was like, I'm not spending. Like, I looked up how much they were. I saw how much they were charging. I was like, I'm not spending $250 a piece, to possibly flip these and make some money, because I wouldn't have saved those. I mean, they're from Japan. Like, I don't have a Japanese, you know what I mean? Like, those I just would have sold. But I was like, it's not even worth my time. Once you take eBay's premium and PayPal, like, cool. There goes $100. Now I'm down to what, like $25, maybe $50 a piece for my time. It's not worth it.
Well, I look out for you if I come across something.
Hey man,
I think about you.
You gotta let me know. One other thing I started doing recently too, I know this is off subject, I'll be real quick. I started fixing my own consoles because I have a nostalgia for them because they're mine. Like, they're my original, like I have my original GameCube, and there was a problem with it. I took it to somebody to fix. No offense to that guy, I'm not going to say the name of his establishment. It was a business. It's like a retro game store that fixes consoles. And I tried to explain to the woman there, I was like, hey, I did a bunch of research. This is what I think the problem is. Tell whoever works on this that that's what the problem is, and they can try to fix it. I don't think she ever told the guy who fixed it or tried to fix it called me and said my motherboard was bad. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But I didn't say that to him. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Went back, picked up my console. They didn't charge me anything to check it out. So I paid nothing for that.
Okay.
Took it apart, fixed it myself, and now it's not working fine. But what it is that there's a timing screw on the lens that's causing a disc read error. And I adjusted that screw slightly, because you're not supposed to adjust it like, you're not supposed to like just, turn. You're supposed to barely turn the screw to get the lens to be either more powerful or less powerful. So I turned it a little bit to make it more powerful, and it's working better than it has in like probably years. I need to open it back up and turn that screw a little bit more, and then it should be perfect. The
original PlayStations had that same screw.
I just fixed my original PlayStation like 3 days ago. So I broke it first. First it broke itself, then I broke it, and then I fixed it again. There's the spindle that spins the disc, that holds the disc.
Yep.
They were known, I didn't know this, but they were known to just be junk and fall apart.
Yep.
So I tried to replace the spindle, but I couldn't get my old one off, and I was putting a lot of pressure onto the disc reader. And I must have put too much pressure on it because it stopped reading games. So then I went onto Amazon, ordered a new disc reader, installed it myself, and now my PlayStation works like brand new.
Cool.
But that's something I'm starting to do. I'm not saying I'm like advanced or anything like that. I'm very much a novice, but if I can figure out how to fix these things, I'd rather fix it myself than to send it somewhere, pay a premium, or to tell someone to tell me it's not even there's nothing they can do to help it when I've already know what the problem is.